Welcome to Shorty Supercoach. What's going on, guys? There's a bit going on, fair to say. Games of footy, left, right and centre. Thursday night, double header. Shorty's just getting around to the preview, so apologies about that. But we will get stuck into it, and I feel like there's so much to cover. I feel like the teams have dealt us a little bit of misfortune. I had a bit of a scroll through. It's been a pretty busy week for old Shorty, actually. But I'm on TAFE holidays, but barely had a look in at a holiday just yet. Been studying, have all this shit to do with the house at the moment. It's a bit all over the place. And Easter, busy. Going to Easter Monday, looking forward to that. So got some tickets the other day. And just to top the week off, I had to get a fitted sheet for the bed. Now, as you guys know, the bed situation is relatively poor. But I thought, look, I've got to up my game. So my initial, or the old fitted sheet, it was past its use by date. It started just, when you get the thinning of the material and you can sort of start to see through it. I was like, okay, this is pretty fucked. Well, that ended up in a small hole, which gradually got bigger to the point where it was ridiculous and I was barely even sleeping on the sheet. It wasn't as bad as it maybe sounds, but last week I was like, Shorty, you got to get a fitted sheet. So I go into Kmart, just get a little cheap option, whatever, don't break the bank. I get a KS fitted sheet because I'm looking, I'm like, geez, I don't really know what size my bed is. It's probably a queen, probably a king. All right, I'll just get the king size. King S. Makes sense, right? I get home, I put it on one corner, put it on the other corner. I'm thinking, what the hell? This ain't going to come close. I look at the thing, it's a king single. So I fucked that up, and then I went the other way, went back into Kmart, and thought, all right, still don't really know. I could have just measured my bed. It has the measurements there. Could have gone the queen option, but I was too concerned over fucking over it again. I thought, nope, I'll go a king. So now I've got this fitted sheet that is just way too big for my bed. Not way too big, but it's, how they fit pretty tight. Because it's a king fitted sheet on a queen, I'm doing the full, right under the mattress. Right under the mattress because there's that much excess sheet. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. Yeah, you probably won't get those 3 minutes of your life back. But what we will do is actually talk some Supercoach. Like I said, I had a brief look at the teams. I'm going to get my side up, and you'll get a little bit of a live sort of Shorty assessing his team today, which is unique. But I'm looking forward to it, and I don't really know what to think about these teams. There's a few players out that I didn't anticipate. What we will talk about today is Paddy Cripps. That's my number one item. I went the VC on Neil, and I don't think it was VC worthy. 117 maybe? So I think I'll go McRae for the skip. 33, yeah. All right, let's have a look at these teams. Now, nothing too relevant there. But obviously, look, Brady Hoff, it just hurts a smidgen. It's not, he wasn't making that much money, but it's just annoying. It's just another avenue where you're not going to make money. Jeremy McGovern, I reckon that might have hurt a couple because a few probably traded him in. And then at St Kilda, Jack Hayes comes back. That'll help a few, no doubt about that. Bit of fortune there with Ryder being suspended. Now, Gibcus is managed. And what's going on here? Oh, Hinge injured. I swear to God on the AFL app, that said dropped. I'm checking that. Because I was in a panic this morning. I was checking it on the AFL app. And I swear it said omitted. Nope, I can't read. Fair enough. That makes sense. Because I was concerned because I knew he had the hip pointer, and I thought, he's been playing good footy. He couldn't possibly be dropped. And clearly my eyesight has failed me again. So I'm going to talk about Hinge and Cripps, what to do, and just try and work our way through this backline issue, which is pretty rough. Now, Bruce, obviously, we knew being suspended. I'll tell you what, Jack Hayes coming in would have saved a lot of people. They could have been potentially staring at a 0. There's Cripps. Looks like it's just going to be 1 week. My old mate Paddy Dow coming back in the side. Skinner's back in the team. These are extended benches. And this is where it gets interesting, right? So I need to wait for these Sunday teams because we've got Sarong, O'Driscoll, Chapman, Tucker, Erasmus, Switkowski on the interchange. So I was telling people to bring in Erasmus and O'Driscoll. I don't see how Erasmus gets picked. So if I'm looking at that Dockers bench, Logue gets picked for sure. Sarong gets picked. Chapman gets picked. I think it's out of O'Driscoll and Switkowski. And look, Tucker, it's a massively strong extended bench. So it's got me worried, guys. It's got me really worried. So they will probably come out in about, probably an hour or so by the time I upload this. And then there's nothing too relevant from the Cats game. Tom Stewart is back. That's crucial for some. So they're the teams. Now, I'm just going to have a quick little look at my side and how it's shaping up. And we're stretched pretty thin here because obviously nothing happening on that defensive bench. We've got Hoff out. Oh, that's right. I wanted to check the Hawks. I think we're all clear from the Hawks, aren't we? That passed me by, but I was really concerned about some of the Hawks getting dropped. Oh, I guess it's on Monday, so we better check that extended bench as well. See if there's any gremlins in here. Hey, righto. Shit, we're in the clear. Nice. Ward named on a wing. And McDonald named the first follower. Give me a spell. Anyway, they're in the team. That's good. All right. Well, that definitely helps. Now, oh, gosh. Oh, boy. So, that's going to be McDonald, but obviously I'm going to trade in one of these Dockers boys. It's probably likely going to be... Is Stevens even an emergency? I don't think I saw him in the write-up on the AFL website. He is an emergency. I mean, not that it's much of a muchness, but it's good to see him still in the mix. But don't know. So there is potential. That I think O'Driscoll will remain in the side. Now, there's a potential that it could be for Stevens, it could be for Gibcus, but if he's just managed, it could even be for Hoff. But I'd probably lean towards Stevens because then I can actually bank some coin. But let's talk Paddy Cripps. What are we doing here? It's a hold for me. Calm your farms. Reverse those goddamn trades. I'm sure everybody's bloody traded him out. Let's have a look here. Look at that. 18% have traded him out. Far out, you freaks. Come on. It's 1 week. He's a keeper. I know we got 35 trades, but we can't be affording to be willy-nilly about all these trades. At some stage, we'll get to a point in the year and we'll go, shit, why did I do that sideways trade? Answer this for me. Now, will you want Cripps in your team by the end of the year? Your final team. In essence, I'm asking, is he a top 8 mid? Yes, thank you. Correct answer. Yes, he is. So what are you trading him out for a 1 week injury? The bloke's running laps at training during the week. He's looking fine. I'm getting the vibe that if this was a final, Paddy's playing. So that's where he's at, I reckon. The only argument I sort of get is that you would be able to get him at a cheaper price because he's got that 38 and you just want to pocket a little bit of coin. But that's also saying to me that you place a value of one trade at about $40,000. Not much, because Cripps is probably going to drop maybe to 490, something like that. If he comes out and scores 140 on return, well, that's going to blow your strategy out the water. I personally think he's a keep, a hold. You just never know what's going to be crucial for you to trade in the future. So I'm happy to just keep him on that bench, bring him back in next week. I'm hoping it'll be a nice strategy move for me, make Cripps a little bit point of difference. But I just think, you never know what trades you're going to have to do. So you can't just sit here and say, oh, yeah, I'll just trade him in 3 weeks' time when his price drops. You don't know what you're going to have to do. You might have more pressing issues, and it doesn't always work out nice and pretty with the old dollars in the end. Sometimes you fall short. Sometimes you got to make downgrades that you don't want to do if you hold yourself to this trade that you said you'd do 3 weeks ago. So just be careful. Now, as for Hinge, I see it both ways. I get it both ways. I look at Hinge and I say, he's a bloke that can be over sort of 300k. I feel a bit uneasy about dropping him at 266. It could be something I do, but I'm probably more inclined to do it for Stevens because I don't really want to be playing McCartan well, he'll be on most people's on-field side, but I don't really want DeConning or Gibcus on the field. And O'Driscoll would probably be the option. I don't know if he's on an extended bench in a pretty strong Fremantle side, so I think Hinge is really important as an on-field scorer, let alone the fact that I still think he's got 50 to 70k to make. Obviously not initially because he's got that 37, but I think he's a 70-plus scorer once he, doesn't have an injury-interrupted game, and he'll drop that 37 upon return. So they are my thoughts. I do wish I could give you a bit more information about these Dockers players. I really thought during the week trade them both in, but I'm looking at that extended bench and finding it really hard to see how on earth they could both be selected unless there's a bit of a change in tact with how they view Tucker or Switkowski or something like that. I'm seeing 6 blokes there that I could probably pick, so fitting it into 4 is going to be tricky. But at this point in time, I'm going to have the C on McRae, I reckon. And otherwise, look, I'm really happy with this forward line. I wish I could swing one of these bastards into the midfield. But that's not to be. I think Cherry will go next week. I hope he plays okay this week. He might make me 10 grand. He might just plateau. But then he should get an ability to move into the ruck with dual position status. And then I'll be able to bring Bruce in next week for him with a bit of a downgrade. So if you want a bit more information about who I've got an eye on my radar in terms of guys that I want to upgrade to, break-evens and fallen premiums is a video that I've been doing each week. That came out last night. It's a bit all over the place, these videos, just with the long weekend and double headers and stuff. The weekend preview would almost always come out Thursday night after work, but wasn't travelling too nicely, so didn't actually work yesterday. So, but that's how my team's shaping up. Honestly, I do implore you to hold Cripps and to a lesser extent hold Hinge. I understand the Hinge front because he's a cash cow. He's made us cash if you want to turf him because he's not playing. That makes sense. But Cripps is definitely a gun. We're going to want him in the team. I don't see any value in trading him out, in my opinion. So all the best for this week. I hope you guys are travelling well. Enjoy the Easter long weekend. I'm just about to obviously upload this one and then kick back with a little bit of footy between the Bulldogs and the Roos. So that should be a bit of fun. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Press conference on what will be Monday night. All the best. Cheers.